All right, good evening, everyone. As we begin this session, again, please keep yourself muted. You can ask your questions throughout the chat box throughout this whole presentation. We have a team of admissions staff members who will be answering your question. Thank you all so much for attending our FCC Night for High School Seniors. We're so glad to have you here. My name is Jen Seeley, and I'm the coordinator of admissions, recruitment, and outreach at Frederick Community College. On behalf of the admissions team and FCC, I welcome you. We have a great program set up where you'll be hearing from representatives from all across campus. Again, please use the chat box and we will be answering your questions through that way. So I'm going to go ahead and begin by sharing my screen to go over tonight's program. All right. All right, so to have an idea of what you're going to be learning about tonight, you'll get a brief FCC overview from myself, and we'll go into the enrollment steps, how to apply or where to start. Counseling and advising, you'll be hearing from the executive director of that department, Dr. Chad Adaro, and he's going to go over advising, orientation, all of those processes. And then the director of financial aid, Will Yesses, will be speaking on FAFSA scholarships and all things aid. We have a great student panel of some of our student ambassadors who will be speaking and talking about their FCC experience. And then we're going to be having 2 different academic breakout sessions where there'll be multiple and you'll be able to pick to attend 2 of them. So there'll be 10-minute sessions where you can choose any of the 2 different areas and you'll hear from faculty members and they'll talk about their specific programs. And then we're going to wrap things up, and then we have 5 questions where we're going to give away some FCC swag. So make sure that you're paying attention to the presentations because I'll be asking questions that were talked about throughout those presentations. And again, feel free to leave your questions through the chat box. So I'm going to, one second, try and find my mouse. Okay, if I could ask Jake and Haley to come on the camera screen for me. Our 2 student ambassadors tonight are Jake and Haley. I'm going to have them introduce themselves so that you are familiar with who they are. And then again, they're going to be on later during the student panel portion. So Haley, how about we start with you and you can introduce yourself to the group.
Hello, my name is Haley. I'm a pre-health professions major. I graduate this year. And I went to Urbana High School.
Jake?
Hi, my name is Jake. I graduate next year at FCC. I am majoring in theater, and I also went to Urbana High School.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Haley and Jake. And again, we're going to have them answering questions about their experience. So start thinking about any questions that you would want to ask current students because we have 2 here and you'll be able to ask them later on in the program. All right, I'm going to share my screen again and we're going to kick off the presentations. All right, so here's a screenshot of kind of our student profile. The college has approximately 8,000 credit students with even more continuing education and workforce development students. Over 31% of Frederick County Public School graduates attend FCC, so a lot of your friends will be students at FCC. There is a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio, which means small class sizes, and about 70% of our students are part-time, while about 30% attend full-time. And over half of our students plan to transfer upon graduation from FCC and continue on to pursue a bachelor's degree at a 4-year school. There's something for everyone at FCC, whether you're a dual enrollment student and taking classes while you're in high school, or you're attending FCC as a full-time student pursuing an associate's degree. Or even if you decide not to attend FCC next year after you graduate, you always have the opportunity to come back to FCC as a visiting student. So say you attend a 4-year after your senior year. When you come home for the summer, you can actually attend FCC as a visiting student, and then your credits can transfer back to your four-year institution. So you'll be saving yourself some time and money by taking some credits at FCC that will then transfer on to your bachelor's degree. Depending on what your academic and career goals are will depend on what's best for you. FCC offers short-term training or continuing education programs, and I'm going to go into some specifics about that with our Monroe Center later on. But those short-term training programs are usually about 6 months to a year, depending on your if you're a part-time student or a full-time student. Those are kind of fast-track programs to get the certification and the education and knowledge that you need in that field to then enter the workforce and start working right away. Then we also offer certificates, which are credit-based. So there's academic weight that will transfer to 4 years. And those are about 30 credits, and it would take you about a year to complete a certificate as a full-time student. And then we offer associate's degrees, which are 60 credits, or about 2 years if you attend full-time as a student. So we like to say 15 to finish. As a full-time student, you'll usually take about 15 credits a semester. So that's about 30 a year. So 2 years, 60 credits to get your associate's degree, which you can then transfer on to a 4-year to pursue your bachelor's degree. FCC offers over 85 academic credit programs to meet the needs of our diverse student body. This is a screenshot of what it looks like exactly on our website. So we'll link that for you in the chat box of where you can directly click and look at all of the different programs. But they have these headings. And for example, if you'd click on arts and humanities on our website, you'll see that art's under there, music's under there, audio production, so many more. And that's how kind of all of these majors are outlined on our website. Probably our most popular programs are healthcare majors, business administration, our STEM programs, cybersecurity, general studies is also popular for students who aren't sure what they want to pursue yet. The nice thing about our website, it is very active for you to use right now while you're exploring your options. So on our website, there's curriculum pathways for all of our programs. You can click on a particular major and it will show you the breakdown of each major, and it lists out the classes that you would have to take in order to get a degree in that major at FCC. The course sequence is there, when courses are offered, whether they're in the spring or the fall, the number of credits, and these curriculum pathways are something that you'll use with your advisor when kind of mapping out your pathway and when you should be taking courses. Then we also offer, like I mentioned earlier, continuing education and short-term training programs. So most of these are offered at our Monroe Center, which is part of FCC. It's a separate facility by the Frederick Fairgrounds, about 15 minutes from main campus. Monroe Center is the largest workforce training facility in Maryland. They offer full and part-time coursework to be flexible with your lifestyle. These 5 categories here on the screen are kind of the umbrella headings of what's offered there. But for example, in healthcare, and this will be one of our academic breakout sessions, so you'll hear from Danielle Stoffer, who manages and oversees all of these programs, but they have CNA, phlebotomy, veterinary assistant, dental assisting, just to name a few. In the trades, there's HVAC, electrical and welding, there's real estate courses, childcare, there's computer and technology programs, there's a makerspace lab at Monroe Center, so you can do 3D printing, robotics, things like that. And then there's also the Hospitality Culinary Tourism Institute that's at the Monroe Center. This is a credit program that has a industrial sized kitchen, the 200 Monroe restaurant where students actually, it's open to the public and students will take guest orders, prepare the food, make the food, serve them to the guests, all very hands-on. So that's a little bit about the Monroe Center. Then I also wanted to touch on some of our support services that are available for students at FCC. So like I mentioned earlier, you're going to hear from the Executive Director of Counseling and Advising. So I'm going to kind of skip over and let the expert kind of talk about career and transfer services and counseling and advising in depth to you after me. But at FCC, we offer a comprehensive program of ESL courses for those who wish to improve their English language skills. And those range from basic ESL to academic ESL. We also have services for students with disabilities, which support and assist students with disabilities. They'll meet with an SSD advisor and come up with a student success plan or an accommodation plan. So based on the student's needs, they offer a lot of classroom accommodations, whether it's a note taker or testing accommodations. They need extra test taking time or kind of a private space. So they'll work with the students to make sure that they're as successful as they can be at FCC. To kind of start those services with SSD, now's the time to reach out to that office. We'll make sure we put in the chat box their email address and their phone number to contact them to set up that initial meeting to meet with an advisor. Then through our Learning Commons, there's free tutoring available for all students. So we have a tutoring and writing center, and there's a STEM learning center with a math lab that you can get free tutoring whenever you need help in any STEM related courses. And those services right now are available for students online, virtually, since most of our classes are online and we kind of have that remote atmosphere just based on the pandemic. We also offer an honors college, which will also be part of an academic breakout session. So if anyone is interested in studying honors at FCC, definitely attend that academic breakout session. The honors coordinator, Dr. Thompson will be there. But to graduate with honors, you need to take at least 12 honors credits. So that's 4 courses and graduate with a 3.25 GPA from FCC. A lot of great opportunities come with honors. Attending conferences, networking opportunities, an independent study project like a mini practicum looks really nice on a resume and makes you look very marketable when transferring to your 4-year and applying to those 4-year schools. Through the Office of Multicultural Student Services, there's academic advising and guidance. They have a lot of cross-cultural experiences, events on campus, things off campus. They do, students participate in leadership activities and programs. And then also our PASS program is through MSS, and that's a year-long support program for students who have placed into a developmental class, kind of that transition from high school to college. There's a summer bridge program that goes with that to kind of help acclimate you to the college work environment. And then student engagement, you know, it's really important to get involved wherever you attend school. We have over 30 different clubs and organizations at FCC. Our SGA, our Student Government Association, you know, it's students doing programming for other students. So they do a great job of having social events on campus. They do bus trips off campus and things like that. Then there's leadership conferences you can attend, service projects. We also have National Junior College Athletic Association, athletic teams, men's and women's. If you're interested in participating in a sport, on the athletic page, there's a recruit questionnaire that you can fill out and it will get sent to the coach if you want more information about that. So those are kind of just briefly highlighting some of our services for students, but there's many more, and we're always here to help our students. All right. Real quick, how much does it cost? I just wanted to give you this visual. I'm sure Will from Financial Aid will be going over this in depth, but I just wanted to reiterate that FCC is a very smart investment. Our students graduate with little to no college debt and having a quality education. So our tuition and fees are less than half of what they are at a 4-year public school in Maryland. And this chart kind of shows you the annual cost for a full-time in-county student taking 30 credits a year. So you can see the breakdown here. And then last up for me, I wanted to go over the enrollment steps before we move into the next section. FCC, we are open admissions policy. So this means there's guaranteed acceptance. All students are welcomed. All students are accepted. That's what open admissions means. So the first thing that you need to do is apply to the college, frederick.edu/apply. There's no recommendation letters. There's no application fee. You just fill out the application, and then you will receive a welcome packet in the mail from the admissions office that has your next steps and your student ID number, and you'll also receive an email with those items as well. Dual enrollment students, you must fill out a new application, so you'll reapply to the college. 2 reasons for this: to be eligible for financial aid and to declare major. So your student ID number will stay the same as you were as a dual enrollment student, and your email address will stay the same, but you must reapply so you can declare major and be eligible for financial aid. After you apply, start thinking about financial aid, and I know will get into this, but just a date to keep in mind: March 1st. Please file your FAFSA by March 1st. All of our students who are taking college credits have to do placement testing or send exemptions. So placement testing in math, sentence skills, reading and writing, it's just an assessment. They're not graded, they're untimed. You can take them either virtually or you can make an appointment to come to campus. There's limited appointments to be able to do that. But through the testing center, that's where the placement testing goes through. These are just an example of some of the exemptions. We will link the testing center link for you in the chat so you can look up all of the different exemptions. If you have exemptions and you don't need to take placement testing, just make sure you email them to transferevaluation@frederick.edu. That goes to the registration office, and then they'll put the exemptions in the system. Then after you do placement testing or you have exemptions, you're going to meet with an advisor and go over your classes. And Chad, I see you're unmuted. So should I turn things over to you now to pick it up for advising?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chad Adero. I'm the Executive Director of Counseling and Advising at Frederick Community College. I'm glad you all are choosing FCC, or hopefully you all are choosing FCC for your choice starting in the summer or fall. I just want to, there's so much I could say about advising at FCC that's very complex. There's a lot of information, but I at least wanted just to highlight a few things in my short time here. Probably one of the most important things that you do early on at FCC is to meet with your advisor. And at FCC, we have assigned advisors, and assigned advisors are based on your major. So whatever major you will have an assigned advisor for that particular major. The best way to find out who that assigned advisor is to go to our website. I think that someone may put the website in the chat box. Please go and review it. There's a ton of information on our website, good information for you to know and review as a student. But you can also go there, select your major, and you can see who your assigned advisor is. So you will know before you start at FCC who is going to be your assigned advisor. That is going to be the person that you'll be working with, building a relationship with. Hopefully they'll be helping you select your classes each semester if you need them. They'll be kind of guiding you and giving you some directions about transfer and anything else you need in order to get you through FCC successfully. That advisor also will be following up with you throughout the semester to make sure you're staying on track and giving you all the information you need in order to, do well in all your classes. The other part of this I wanted to make sure that you're aware of is ROAR. ROAR is our required orientation, advising, and registration process. This is what all new students must go through. And this is our process. Basically, when you go on our website, you'll be able to make an appointment, our ROAR appointment. And we open these around April. So starting in April, you can start making your ROAR appointment. I would encourage you to do the ROAR appointment earlier rather than wait till later part of the summer. But you can actually start this process in April and get all set up so you'll actually be registered for summer or fall classes. So the sooner you do it, the better for you, the less likely you'll have to run into situations where you can't get the classes you want or you can't get a good time to meet with your advisor. You have a lot of flexibility if you register early and meet with your advisor early. So you'll make an appointment with your assigned advisor on our webpage. You'll click on making a ROAR appointment with that assigned advisor. You'll pick the time that works for you. It's really simple online. You'll fill out a little information there, make that appointment. You'll also have to we'll encourage you to watch the ROAR video that will give you a little bit of information that you need to know prior to meeting with your advisor. And then when you meet with your advisor, you'll kind of be equipped and prepared to ask questions, share any information you want to share with that advisor, and that advisor will be able to give you some direction and guidance on what you should do. That advisor also, the big part of that will be they'll help you select those first semester courses, which is really important for you and kind of getting you started at FCC. So that's a really important process that you all need to go through. Make sure you all set that up as soon as possible so you can take advantage of that ROAR process. In addition, we had some of you all maybe say, I don't know, I want to go to college, I'm going to FCC, but I don't know exactly what I want to major in. We also have career services inside the counseling and advising office. So what you can do, in addition to making an appointment with your advisor, we also have a career advisor, so you can make a career appointment. You can go online and meet with one of our career advisors that will help you, take you through different modules, take you through different assessments that will help you figure out what may be the best major for you to choose. So if you have any issues, any questions around major and career choices, we have career advisors that can be there to help you as well. What else did I want to bring up? I think those are the main things. I know Jen talked briefly about TSOs. Those are targeted support offices, veteran and military services, adult services, service for student with disabilities, and multicultural student services. If for whatever reason you use one of those support services as a program that you want to be a part of, those areas will be your assigned advisor. So you won't necessarily have an assigned advisor inside the counseling and advising office if you select one of those TSO programs to be a part of. The TSOs can do exactly what the advisors can do inside the counseling and advising office. Actually, they can probably in many ways give you more support and help while you're at FCC. So if you choose one of those programs, which could be a great choice for you, just know that that will be your assigned advisor. That will be your assigned program for all your future advising at FCC. So I think that kind of covers it. Look forward to seeing you all, and enjoy the rest of the program.
Thanks so much, Chad. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. 1 second. Okay. So next up, we have Will Yesses, who's the Director of Financial Aid, and he is going to talk about all things FAFSA, scholarships, applying for aid, all that great stuff. So thanks so much, Will.
Oop, I had to unmute myself. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to Frederick Community College. I'm glad to be here with all of you tonight, and thank you for participating. My name is Wilbert Yesses. I am the Director of Financial Aid at Frederick Community College. Alrighty. So I'm going to start my presentation with an important reminder. So complete your FAFSA now. We have a state deadline of March 1st. So that deadline is coming up soon. And if you need assistance in completing your FAFSA, feel free to give us a call or send us an email. Here's our phone number and our email address. And one of our financial aid staff will be available to help you complete your FAFSA one-on-one. So once again, if you need assistance in completing your FAFSA, it is very important that you complete your FAFSA on or before March 1st, that's our state deadline. And you can give us a call or send us an email. We're open from Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. And another thing that I would like to announce to everyone, we have a FAFSA event this Saturday. I understand that 10, 15 minutes tonight will not be enough to cover all the things that I would like to discuss about financial aid, but we do have a FAFSA event this Saturday, February 6th, 2 o'clock to 3:30 p.m. I'll be putting the link on in the chat box after my presentation. So feel free to share this information to your friends and to whoever that needs more information about FAFSA. So once again, this Saturday, we do have a FAFSA event from 2 o'clock to 3:30 in the afternoon. So it is very important for our students to complete the free application for federal student aid. And I will be emphasizing that importance as I go through my presentation. We highly encourage all students that would like to participate in our aid programs that we offer at FCC to submit your application. And if you would like to maximize your financial aid, make sure that you submit an application on March 1st, on or before March 1st. I usually get asked a question, what if I miss that March 1st? Can I still submit my FAFSA? Yes. The only thing that we are worried about that is your state financial aid. But yes, you can still submit your FAFSA after March 1st, but we highly recommend that you do it on or before March 1st. So the free application for Federal Student Aid FAFSA is the foundation, is the application that's the foundation for all financial aid programs that we have, that we offer at Frederick Community College, for our federal programs, our state programs, and also for our institutional program. And so, as I've said, FAFSA is required for you to receive state programs. So as I've said, the state Maryland has have a deadline of March 1st. So make sure that you complete your FAFSA application on or before March 1st. So I keep repeating that because that's really, really important. And for those of you that does not qualify or cannot submit a FAFSA, we recommend you to submit a MISFA. So you don't have to submit both, only one application for per student. So if you cannot submit a FAFSA, we would like you to submit or complete what we call a Maryland State Financial Aid application, or MISFA. And the deadline for that is March 1st as well. So there's a variety of programs that our state provide to our students. So I'm not going to enumerate all of them, but I just would like to showcase it to everyone that there's plenty. So that's why that March 1st deadline is really, really important, right? At the institutional level, Frederick Community College do offer institutional aid to our students, both as a merit and need-based aid. And so once again, we do require, or we do look at, the FAFSA information of that student, and there's an application that's required for our institutional financial aid. So foundation scholarships are available in the fall, spring, and summer. And here are the dates. So if you intend to start at FCC in the fall, our foundation scholarship will be open on April 1st until June 30th. The spring semester has already ended. And for those that are thinking of starting in the summer, we will open that application on May 1st to May 15th. The only thing that we ask of you, if you do get the foundation scholarship, is for you to write a thank you letter. We do have a STEM program also at FCC. And so these are for our students that are interested in our STEM programs at FCC. So if you are interested in learning more about, the program, I think the priority deadline is April 11th, I should say. And please contact Dr. Brian Stippelman or Dr. Matthew Blackman. And the STEM scholars do receive up to $13,000 of financial aid per year. So I would highly encourage, those students that are participating tonight, that if you would like to major in any of our STEM programs, take advantage or inquire about, this opportunity. We do also offer loans to our student that will be attending in the fall semester. And there are two types of loans, subsidized and unsubsidized loan. There's another process where we ask our students to complete forms and application to participate in our loan programs. And as I've said, we will be providing more details about all of this program in our Saturday event, which is this coming Saturday, February 6th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. And we understand in financial aid that some of you, or maybe many of you, may have special circumstances. We understand that we're still in the pandemic, If there's any loss of income in the family, there's unusual or uncovered medical expenses, death in the family, divorce, or any special circumstance that happened to you or in your family, we want to hear from you. We understand that when you complete your FAFSA, you're using 2019 income information. And between 2019 and now, there might be some changes in that income. So we would like to hear from you if you do have any special circumstance, because as a financial aid administrator, we're able to go back into your FAFSA and make some adjustment based on the information that you will provide to us. So if you do have any of this, special circumstance, or if you would like to submit, a letter to financial aid, feel free to send us an email, and our assistant director will reach out to you and basically walk you through our process and let you know what documents we will be requiring from you. And once again, this is our contact information. It is very important for you to really work on your FAFSA now. I keep emphasizing it because March 1st deadline is coming up soon. And I don't want you to miss that opportunity to be able to participate in our state programs. So just make sure to complete your FAFSA. And if you need assistance in completing the FAFSA, we do offer a one-on-one FAFSA help to any students that needs assistance. So just give us a call or send us an email. We're anticipating that we're going to be getting a lot of calls. So if you get our voice mail, make sure to leave us a detailed message or send us an email, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. So that's the end of my presentation. So once again, thank you for participating in our event tonight. As I've said, we have an event coming up this Saturday. Hopefully, all of you can participate in that event and get more information about financial aid. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Will. And again, if anyone has any financial aid related questions, please just address those in the chat box. Will said he'll hang around for a few more minutes to be able to answer those questions for you. But great event on Saturday where you'll get lots of more information. I kind of cut Will short today to 15 minutes. So thank you for that. All right. Next, we're going to hear from our student ambassadors again. So if Haley and Jake could come on camera, that would be great. All right, so all of you attending, if you have any questions for any current students that you can think of or you'd want to know, please submit those in the chat box right now. I'll keep peeking down, but in the meantime, I will go ahead and start and ask them a couple questions that I have prepared. So Jake, let's start with you. Do you want to tell everyone why you chose to attend FCC?
I chose to attend FCC because I had actually participated in the Kids on Campus program before for like a very, very long time. Like I've grown around in Maryland for a very long time. And it was kind of something I think I've always wanted, just because for me, like, I didn't have like too many choices in my mind. So this is kind of the one that I wanted to go with from the get-go. And I just thought it was the easiest thing to do, especially right now. I thought it was the most realistic, and I think transferring later was a smarter idea for my education.
Great. How about you, Haley? Why did you choose FCC?
I chose FCC because it's the most logical. I get to stay at home and do all my classes online since we're in a pandemic. I also have a job in Frederick, so it's just better for me.
Great. So you've mentioned remote learning. You've touched on that. So can you guys talk a little bit about your experience of how remote learning has been, and if you've used any support services remotely based on the pandemic? So Jake, let's go back to you, and how has just your experience been during remote learning?
At first, I thought it was going to be pretty difficult, but it actually came pretty naturally. Teachers have been very helpful, and they've been really willing to help you in any way you can. If you have any questions, they'll be more than glad to help you answer them. But resource-wise, the biggest one that I have been using most of the time has been on the Frederick Community College website. They have like a library with like their databases that you can use for research and stuff. So if you guys are writing papers, that's like a really good place to find useful and good information, I think, yeah.
How about you, Haley? How's your remote learning experience been?
It's been pretty good so far. I love all my professors. They're quick at emailing you back. I have used the tutoring center. Last semester I took chemistry online. It was a little rough, but with the tutoring center and the help of my professor, I was able to get a B in the class. That was a good thing for me. And I also use the counseling and advising quite frequently because I'm transferring. So it's been a nice period.
Great. So can each of you tell everyone what your favorite classes at FCC has been so far? Haley, we'll start with you this time. What's your favorite class?
My favorite class this semester has to be Death and Dying. My professor is really cool and she talks the whole class and we all get along and there's really good conversations. And I know the Death and Dying class is not offered every semester, so it's an added bonus and an extra special treat.
Awesome. How about you, Jake?
My favorite class has to be advanced acting. I'm a theater kid at heart, so people are very nice in there. And so is the teacher. His name's Tad. He's a very good guy. And we do hybrid stuff, so it's kind of nice to sometimes be on campus and do things there too. So it's nice.
Yeah, awesome. So Jake, let's stay on you. What's been the biggest difference or challenge going from high school to college? So Urbana to FCC, what's kind of been the biggest challenge or multiple challenges?
Well, I think the obvious one is obviously going from in school to virtual. I think that's clearly the biggest one. I think that's also trying to balance like your out of school activities. I don't think it's that much more difficult since it's virtual, but it's definitely different. And it's kind of just switching into the mindset, I think for me was probably the hardest part. Yeah. Okay.
I forgot to mention that Jake is a first year student. So that's why he's saying his transition is virtual learning, because this is his first year at FCC, while Haley is a second year student. So that also gives you two different perspectives of where they're coming from. So Haley, thinking back to when you were in high school 2 years ago, what's kind of been the biggest challenge or transition from you going from high school to FCC?
Probably the freedom to kind of do my workload as I go. Since I'm a full-time student, I have 4 classes and 2 classes a day, and I have the freedom to do all my work before Sunday at 11:59. It's not like I have to cram one thing in one school day like you do in high school. You have 4 to 8 classes a day, depending where you come from, and it's a lot easier only having 4 to deal with. And the class periods are an hour at a time or 2 hours, depending if it's a science class, but I love them.
Awesome. So I know a lot of high school students ask about what the workload is like in college and how that is different from high school. So Haley, can you talk a little bit about what the workload was like maybe when you were doing in-person campus work, and then also how it is kind of on the remote learning atmosphere? And then Jake, you can chime in and any additional information you have about what your workload is like. So like, how many hours a week do you have homework? Is it presentations? Is it papers? Is it, group projects, things like that?
For me, I had to do a lot of heavy course work, such as like English classes because of my major. my first semester of college. It was a little difficult, however, I got through it. I do think it's a little bit easier online because you can wake up, go to class. I still take notes and stuff during class time, and I always show up even if it's not required because there's valuable information to be learned. Definitely with English classes, it's hard work because you're writing essays, doing research projects, and also with science classes. I've taken biology, chem, I'm taking microbiology now, and it is kind of heavy, but the professor works with you and tries to give you a less amount of work during the week to space it out.
How about you, Jake?
Ditto. I mean, basically everything that Haley said. I took a lot of English classes first semester, so I too had a lot of writing and taking multiple action classes. There's a lot of memorization and reading in there. And there are a lot of lectures. That is something that most classes do have, especially now on Zoom. And I am taking 3 asynchronous classes this semester, which basically means it doesn't have like a set day. You can do it like anytime throughout the week. And so figuring out what days to do what, making sure that you're not overloading yourself one day is nice. I recommend, from my perspective, to lay out your week, make sure that you're not stressing yourself out on one particular day, because if you do, then it's rough.
Yes, that's great advice, not to procrastinate, but stay organized and on top of your work. That's huge for sure. So I see a lot of different questions coming in the chat. That's great. A lot of them are program specific questions, and thank you to the faculty and admission staff who are chiming in and answering those questions. I really appreciate it. If any of your program specific questions don't get answered in the chat, just make sure you ask them in your academic breakout sessions, because the faculty members will be there and will be able to answer those specific questions that you do have. All right, Haley, what is your favorite spot on campus? I know we're not there right now physically, but what's your favorite spot on campus and why do you like it?
I like the library. There's the section where they have the books, of course, but there's also individual rooms where you can go in with a few people from your class and you can do projects and sit together in there pre-COVID. But that's my favorite place on campus.
Nice. So how about you, Jake? I know that you haven't been on campus yet, but since you're an OG from Kids on Campus, you definitely know campus.
Yes, my favorite spot was always the Cougar Girl. I think it's also just the way it looks and just seeing like all the students like coming out at different times. It's just like the atmosphere feels so nice. And also like even though like you might not like be in the class like with like a person, you can still like meet together, and people are just really friendly down there. And the food's good. The food's really good.
What's your favorite food at the Cougar Girl?
Oh, well, it's been years since I've been there, but I think they had a PB&J that was pretty good. I think they had that. It's been a long time.
Yeah, the classic PB&J. It's always a good choice. All right, if anyone has any questions for 2 current students that are here with us, please put them in the chat that you have questions, you're curious about what it's like to be there as a student, the day in the life, anything from academics to social life on campus to getting involved. You have a first-year student and a second-year student perspective. So please feel free to put any questions in there. We'll have about 5 more minutes that we're talking to our students, and then we'll move on. All right. So both of you, overall, what's your favorite thing about FCC? When someone asks you, what do you love about FCC? What's like the first and second thing that come to your mind? Haley, do you want to go first?
I think it's the professors. I've had some pretty cool professors in the past. My favorite one has to be my English 101 professor and my English 102 professor. They were both super cool, super like in the class, like talking to everyone. And they're just always communicating to you. And sometimes my English 101 professor, she would bring in like little snacks for us if we did a good job on an essay, which it was kind of fun to look forward to that. And we were all just friends in the class.
Great. How about you, Jake? I know you've been virtual, but what's your favorite thing about FCC so far?
I too would say the professors. With theater, like we actually have like been on campus like I think a total of 7 times like last semester, and with those we were still able to do a few fun things while being socially distanced and safe. Other than that, nah, I think it's the professors. The professors are just great. They're amazing and they help you with everything. They're so great.
Awesome. Well, I know Laura put in the chat that a lot of them are here with us tonight. So that is a great testament that they get to hear you say that. And we're so excited to have them here with us tonight. So I'm going to ask you guys this question now because these are high school seniors who are on this call. So thinking back when you were in their position, you know, your senior year, getting through the college search process, figuring out what to do, what pieces of advice or piece of advice would you give to the students that are attending this session as far as preparing for college? And then once you would get to FCC, what advice would you get them? So kind of a twofold question. What advice would you give them preparing now in their senior year? And then when they attend FCC next year, what piece of advice would you give them? Jake, do you want to go first?
Sure. Right now, as a senior, it is very important to not stress. Take your time. Do not rush into things, because if you do, you might miss some information and things could get jumbled around, and you might have some miscommunication with anything in the process. When you do get to FCC, I think like also take it slow. Don't, and also like I said earlier, don't rush to do everything, but also don't procrastinate. I think just focus, make sure you take notes, and work as hard as you can.
It's great advice. Thanks, Jake. Haley, what's your advice?
I would pick the best option for you, money-wise, how far away you want to be from your parents, or how far you want to be from your friends. Definitely make sure you look into FAFSA. That's what's helped me, and the Student Ambassadors program, because I was a student ambassador for the Career and Technology Center, and I just transitioned to here, and it was kind of lucky that I got that. Definitely don't stress about it. Don't waste your money. I would go to FCC in a heartbeat the second time, 100%.
Awesome. So someone threw up a question in the chat and asked if it's easy to get around on campus, and is it easy to find your classes? So do you have any input on that?
Yeah, so every building is labeled, like the H building, I'm pretty sure is a student center, and each building has a different letter, and basically it's really easy to find it on campus now because there's signs everywhere of where you can walk and where you can't walk, and which door is open and which door is not open. So
yeah, and just something to add to that, when you're building your schedule each semester, you know, the classes are a certain time that you can't overlap your classes when you're trying to register for them in the system where you'll sign up for classes. So you'll kind of build your schedule to make sure too that you have 5 or 10 minutes to get from class to class. All right. We probably have time for 1 or 2 more questions. If anyone wants to throw in, again, a question that you would have, we have Jake and Haley here who are current students, and they'd be happy to answer your question. So we'll wait a little bit to get 1 more question maybe from the chat. That would be great. In the meantime, I'll ask, Okay, so Haley, when you were on campus, I talk about small class sizes, but you're a student who's there in the classroom. On average, what are your class sizes like? Like, what's the smallest class you had, or maybe what was the biggest class, and what type of class was that?
So last semester I had small group communications, my favorite class that semester too. But the class size, I think there was only 8 of us, and we were all spread out. We were actually in the Visual Arts Center. And we only met a few times during the semester because we only did projects in person. Everything else was online. But this semester I have college algebra in class, and there can't be any more than 10 students, including the professor. And we meet, so he split up the classes by your last name. So half of the alphabet goes on Tuesdays, half the alphabet goes on Thursdays. And right now it's working for us, but I kind of like it this way, having the smaller class size.
Everyone else, students, stay on. We're going to go ahead and do our giveaway opportunity now. So if everyone wants to pull up your chat and have that ready, I'm going to put some questions up on the slideshow. And what we're going to have is 5 different questions. And let me go ahead and start by sharing my screen real quick. Okay, so we're going to have 5 different questions. We have some nice FCC swag that you can win. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions that the answers were given throughout the presentation. So I hope that you were paying attention. And then the winners, will let you know. It's going to be the first person that pops up in the chat box with the correct answer. You'll email me at jseeley@frederick.edu because I want to know what size shirt you want, and then your correct mailing address, and we'll make sure we ship that off and get that to you. If you win a prize, you can't win a second prize, so don't try and keep winning. You'll just get an opportunity to win 1 prize. So so I can't see my chat box, Marie. Wait, let me see if I can get it.
I'm up, I have it.
Okay, yeah, I can't, since I'm sharing my screen, it won't let me see my chat box. It's not at the bottom. So will you monitor the 5 winners for me?
Sure will.
Just shout out when one comes in, please. Thank you so much. All right, so here's the first question. Everybody ready with the chat box?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. How many credits do you need to earn an associate's degree?
First one was, whoops. Yeah, everybody's getting it right.
So we have an answer?
We have a lot of them. The first one was
60 credits. Who's our winner?
It is Reynolds.
All right, great. So that person, make sure you email me. My email will be up at the end to jseeley@frederick.edu. You're our first winner. Congratulations. All right, our second question. What type of admissions policy does FCC have? And remember, when I talked about this, it's everyone's welcome, guaranteed acceptance. What type of admissions policy is that?
Everybody was listening again.
Yay.
Alexandra Gents is our winner.
Awesome. Alexandra, please email me. Open admissions. All right. Our third question. When is the priority deadline to file your FAFSA for Maryland? I mentioned it. Will mentioned it. What's the date?
Everybody got it right again. Let me go back to the top.
Okay. March 1st.
Is Juliana.
Perfect. Juliana, please make sure you email me. Our fourth question for the FCC apparel, what is the orientation process that all new students go through in the counseling and advising department? It's an acronym.
Boy, everybody's listening. This is great.
Yes.
I believe
that's ROAR.
Is Diogo.
All right, Diogo, make sure that you email me. And our final question For some FCC swag, what is Haley's favorite class this semester? She talked about it during the student panel portion.
I think our winner is Michaela.
Death and dying. Congratulations, Michaela. Again, here is my email address, jseeley@frederick.edu for our 5 winners. Please email me your size and your mailing address, and I'll make sure that we send you out one of our FCC apparel pieces. So thank you guys again so much for attending tonight. That concludes our FCC night for high school seniors. We will be having another session on March 4th. It's going to be the same kind of setup that you'll hear from myself, counseling and advising, and financial aid. But if you wanted to attend another breakout session, I apologize for the mix up earlier. Technology is a blessing and a curse at the same time. So we will have another event like this. If you want to attend more breakout sessions, you can always attend that one to attend just the breakout sessions. You're more than welcome to do that. We will be having a spring open house on April 10th. It's a Saturday virtually. And then we'll also have a virtual Monroe Center open house on April 21st. Both of those events are on the admissions website, which is here on the screen, frederick.edu/admissions. And if we can ever assist you in anything during this process, this time, please give the admissions number a call. Please email us at admissions@frederick.edu, or my email again is on here, jseeley@frederick.edu. We are here to help you throughout your college search process and as students at FCC once you graduate next year. So thank you again so much for attending. We really appreciate you guys here. Have a great rest of your senior year. Everyone be healthy and well, and have a great night. Thanks. Bye.